through, and then I'll come back and do veins. I was giving birth.
Aw, you picked this one?
Oh yeah. Do y'all have a probe or anything? Does anybody have like a little probe laying around? A little metal stick that I was using?
Here?
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, that'll be easier. Alright, so starting from the heart, what we're going to do is, if we look at this guy, this is going to be the aorta coming off the top. And off of the aorta we see two branches. The first branch that we come to is going to be the brachiocephalic artery. The second one is going to be the left subclavian artery, okay? So brachio means arm, okay? And cephalic means head. So the brachiocephalic artery is going to supply blood to the arm and the head. And there's going to be three branches off of it. So you can see pretty clearly there that it branches 3 times. This first one that branches off and it comes over here into the arm. This is going to be right subclavian. All right, it's bringing blood to the arm. These other 2 branches are going to run parallel up into the head. So there's 1, and there's 2. And that's going to be the right common carotid and left common carotid. Those are the arteries that bring blood to the head. Okay. And so that's it for the brachiocephalic. Now going back to the aorta, we look at the second branch off of it. This is going to be the left subclavian. So if we follow this up, we'll see that it goes off into the arm. It's kind of hard to trace, but this one will go off into the arm. And so it's the same thing as the right subclavian, except it's coming straight off the aorta. Okay? So you have your brachiocephalic branching 3 times to form right subclavian, then right and left common carotid, and then the left subclavian going to the left arm just branches straight off the aorta. Okay? So the aorta is going to run all the way down the whole body, so you can see it traveling all the way down. From here, we have these guys branching off. Most of them are broken. You should have seen these little red strings right here. Those are actually the intercostal arteries. So if you can see like these little red strings that are sticking off, they look something like that. But they'll be attaching from the aorta to the intercostals. Maybe there's some on this side. Probably not. But that's what you'll see is these small red strings coming from aorta going to the intercostal muscles. We keep traveling down, and eventually the aorta is going to pass through the diaphragm. At this point, it's been cut back. So here's the diaphragm. So after it passes through the diaphragm, it turns into like the abdominal aorta. So if it's above the diaphragm, it'll be thoracic aorta, right? And below it'll be abdominal. So it's still the same thing. It's just changed regions of the body. Right after we pass through the diaphragm, we see two arteries, just like that. They kind of form like a little V sticking off this way. This one on top is going to be the celiac artery. It brings blood to the stomach and other intestines in the body, other organs in the stomach. And this one in the bottom, it's actually been cut, but that's the superior mesenteric, and it's going to go to the intestines and provide them with blood. Okay. So celiac's on top, superior mesenteric right underneath. We'll keep traveling down the aorta, and then we'll see some vessels come off to this kidney, and anything to do with the kidney is going to be renal. Okay, so we have a renal artery coming off to each side. So that's one right there, and it'll do the exact same thing on the other side. We'll see a renal artery right there. All right, so those are to the kidneys. Again, we'll keep tracing the aorta all the way down here, and eventually we'll see it split. It'll kind of fork off. When it does that, it forms right and left iliac arteries, okay? So we have right and left iliac, and then it's just going to change name after it enters into the leg, about yay so, and then it becomes the femoral artery, where it's going to bring blood to the leg. So it's like, again, it's kind of like the name change from the aorta. It doesn't actually change or branch off anything. It just enters a new region of the body and changes names. So the aorta splits into 2 iliac arteries, and then we'll go into the femoral artery. And I was telling some other people that if I was to pin this, so if I wanted you to say iliac, I would pin it way up here, right after it veers off, okay? So I'd pin it up here. And if I was wanting to pin femoral, I would make it obvious and pin it as far down the leg as I possibly could. All right, so if you see a pin up by the branch, you know that's iliac. If you see it further down the leg, it's going to be femoral. Okay? And that's it for the arteries. Moving on to the